Jesus.
I thought I would remember
5
you.
years? It might be the hair.
What might?
It changes a lot.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the best movie openings that demand a rewatch to better understand the story, the characters, and/or to appreciate the moment.
Instead, you come into my house on the day my daughter's to be married and you ask me to do murder.
Number 10, House of Mirrors. Us. All isn't as it seems in the opening to Jordan Peele's Us. As a young girl, Adelaide Thomas enters a house of mirrors, but she meets her doppelganger inside.
Then Soto went to Taiwan and said, I want you to see what I have done, and I have done.
This is a terrifying scene on its own, but it becomes even more harrowing after the end reveal. The character's double Red actually switches places with her counterpart. Peele's script compels us to return to this opening with the new information, creating an even more haunting experience as a result. It certainly makes a rewatch that much more scary, given the implication that the hero isn't who we think she is. Number 9, The Bitter Landscape, No Country for Old Men. In the opening of this Oscar winner, Sheriff Bell talks about his family's work and his future. This all plays over the top of beautiful scenes of Texas. It's clear that Bell is contemplating his effectiveness as a lawman, with introspective lines that don't usually come out of standard heroes.
Some of the old-time sheriffs never even wore a gun. A lot of folks find that hard to believe. Jim Scarborough never carried one, that's the younger Jim. Gaston Boykins wouldn't wear one up in Comanche County.
We then see the arrest of villain Anton Chigurh, which provides some ominous foreshadowing.
The crime you see now, it's hard to even take its measure. It's not that I'm afraid of it. I always knew you had to be willing to die to even do this job.
With fantastic material courtesy of Cormac McCarthy, the Coen brothers set up both good and evil in this poetic opening. Revisiting the scene will give you a much greater appreciation of the sheriff's upcoming battle. Not only that, it also gives you an insight into the philosophical subtext of the crime thriller.
I knew that whenever I got there, he'd be there. Then I woke up.
Number 8, Rosebud, Citizen Kane. In Orson Welles' masterpiece, Charles Foster Kane dies in the first scene. His final words spark a mystery that reporters can't seem to crack.
Rosebud.
The stunning finale reveals that the famed Rosebud is the name of his sled. Recalling his childhood, Kane longed for the innocence of his younger days before death.
Throw that junk.
The twist gives classic movie fans one more reason to revisit one of the best American films ever made. It also gives the beginning moments more of an emotional impact, asking viewers to reconsider the complicated character's life. Wells' vision leaves you with vital information that reinvigorates the entire piece once more. Number 7, Train to Montauk, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. At the start of this sci-fi love story, Joel wakes up and decides to be spontaneous. This leads to his meet-cute with Clementine, but little does the audience know the importance of Montauk or the train.
How far are you going?
Rockville Center.
Get out. Me too.
Really?
What are the odds? Do I know you?
We later learn that both characters erase each other from their memories and end up meeting once again. It's a surprising and unlikely look at romance, showing that fate has a funny way of rekindling an old flame. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind features many details that only make the heroes and their relationship more special.
Clem?
By the end, the importance of the first scene takes on another meaning as the couple reappear at the beach.
I don't ever know what to say.
I'm Clementine.
Number 6, Dead in a Pool, Sunset Boulevard. In the opening moments of this Hollywood mystery, William Holden's deceased character Joe Gillis is shown in a swimming pool.
You see, the body of a young man was found floating in the pool of her mansion.
with 2 shots in his back and 1 in his stomach. Nobody important, really.
It's a shocking start to a film filled with intrigue and an unlikely relationship. The end finally reveals that the hero is shot by Norma Desmond. Gillis was killed after telling Desmond the awful truth, hurting her ego so much that she lashed out with violence.
Joe!
The finale underscores the actress's desperate mental state as she's about to be arrested. While viewers will spend the movie coming up with their own theories, director Billy Wilder finally lets it all out in a fantastic conclusion. This only makes the beginning that much more tragic as the screenwriter recounts his death and the tragedy of a tortured starlet. Number 5. The beginning of a ghost story. The Sixth Sense. In the terrifying opening to this thriller, Malcolm Crowe is shot by an old patient named Vincent.
If I didn't help you, but if you just let me try, you just give me a chance.
The scary scene initially sets up the hero's complicated life and distant wife going forward. Little does anyone know the truth before it's too late.
I know that it makes you mad. I just feel like I'm being given a second chance and I don't want it to slip away.
Crowe was actually killed in these first few scenes, spending the rest of the film as a ghost. The ending requires viewers to go back to the start and examine the entire plot with new eyes. M. Night Shyamalan's movie takes one of the trippiest twists ever and makes you wonder about everything you missed the first time around. With new insights, audience can watch The Sixth Sense over again to discover that it's even more horrifying than you think.
Why, Malcolm? What? What is it? What? Why did you leave me? I didn't leave you.
Number 4. Setting up the trick. The Prestige. Christopher Nolan is no stranger to cryptic openings, as evidenced by many successful films, including Inception. He likes to hint at the complicated and endless possibilities of his storylines. His introduction for The Prestige lays out a central mystery about the plot, while also introducing us to the magical world.
The first part is called The Pledge. The magician shows you something ordinary, a deck of cards, a bird, or a man.
With Michael Caine's narration, the scene introduces the movie's focus on magic and hints at the tragic rivalry between Alfred Borden and Robert Angier. The image of Angier in a water tank makes you wonder what will happen between the two characters. With all of its twists and turns, this Nolan thriller demands that you take another glance to better understand its trickery. Number 3. The Robbery. Pulp Fiction. Quentin Tarantino starts off this award-winning film with a bang, showing 2 criminals contemplate and then decide to rob a diner.
They're not expecting to get robbed. Not as expecting anyway.
I bet you could cut down on the hero factor in a place like this.
You only catch a glimpse of their plan before the filmmaker cuts away. By the end, the 2 hitman characters end up at the same restaurant. The director even gives you subtle hints that it's going to happen, such as Vincent walking away in the background of one shot. It's such a smart and inventive choice that you have to watch it again to really appreciate it. Rather than going with a traditional timeline, Tarantino jumps back and forth until bringing everything to a thrilling conclusion.
Come on, Yolanda, what's Fonzie like?
Cool.
What?
Cool.
Correctamundo.
It's one of the many reasons that Pulp Fiction and its exciting intro deserves to be rewatched. Number 2, I Believe in America. The Godfather. As one of the most acclaimed films of all time, The Godfather begins with a scene that sets the tone for the whole movie. It's a relatively simple exchange that underscores the emotional and philosophical content of the story.
Then I said to my wife, for justice, we must go to Don Corleone.
Why did you go to the police? Why didn't you come to me first?
An undertaker comes to Don Corleone to ask for a favour that establishes the patriarch's position in this society. When you watch it again, you'll experience the nuance of this fantastic speech that discusses America, crime, and friendship.
You found paradise in America? I had a good trade, made a good living, police protected you, and there were courts of law. But you didn't need a friend like me.
The fantastic acting, concise direction, and skillful cinematography can all be appreciated even more on a second viewing.
Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service for me. But until that day, accept this justice as a gift on my daughter's wedding day.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Dawn of Man, 2001: A Space Odyssey. At the beginning of Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece, 2001: A Space Odyssey, hominins roam the world in the distant past. They stumble upon a monolith that seems to grant them the knowledge of tools. It's a dramatic and metaphorical sequence that brings up questions about human evolution. The monolith's power might not be apparent on the first watch, sending some viewers away puzzled by its place in the scene. Kubrick doesn't seek to answer your questions so much as he wants to ruminate on them. This results in an opening that asks the audience to bring their own preconceived notions to it, without voiceover or dialogue to explain the central mystery. Did we forget another masterful opening that should be watched again? Let us know in the comments below.
Please tell me what you've heard.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.